Amateur Night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Amateur Night. I'm your host, Frosty. Hopefully joined by Jake soon, but this is there's Jake. And Jake to the studio. Jake, you joined right as we went live. How you doing, man?
Good.
Good, man. Well, we're
Looking
here for
forward to
Amateur Night. As you can see, I've upgraded us a little bit. We got the scoreboard down at the bottom now. We got a little bit of a different layout. Trying to professionalize Amateur Night a bit, but we got the Pendleton Penguins taking on the 25 plus Bandits in Indiana Baseball League action. Game 2, as you can see, both teams are 1-0. How you feeling about some afternoon baseball?
I'm excited. I like the new layout. It's pretty cool. We got the circles as well for us. I think that's pretty cool. It opens up the field view a little bit.
It does, and as we've stated before, this is amateur night, so the camera work isn't as professional, I would say, as we're looking at for, say, an Instigators game. But I still think this is a decent view. We can see beyond the fence here. I believe we're on an iPhone with a tripod, Jake. So some high tech stuff here. The Penguins today are the away team facing off against the Bandits. We talked about their pitcher last night, Morris, who pitched a gem in their 2023 win over the expansion 25 plus Brewers. The Instigators are going to have a lot ahead of them if they want to get some hits today. So we see the refs walking up here. The game should be starting here in a few minutes. For the Instigators, I'm sorry, gosh, they did it again.
Yeah.
Strike one. For the Penguins, we'll be starting Colin Carey, who started game 1 for them in the first game of the season. And so he'll be pitching again for the Penguins. We, we'll obviously check in to see how he's doing. A little bit of a bumpy start to start last time. Settled in nicely in the second inning that he pitched. And so now he'll get his second opportunity in as many as a week, as many as 7 days. So, that's one of the things also, we should talk about since this is a week-long league, right? Unlike Major League Base, or it's a weekly league. Often you see the same pitchers pitching week after week because they're on 7 days rest. Most major league pitchers are on a 6-day rest, so it's pretty close. I say 6 days, they play 5 games, right? They pitch every 5 games, but there's usually a series change in there somewhere, so it's usually 5 to 6 days. Colin will get 7 days. It'll be interesting to see how he does, though, given that he hasn't pitched in a while before now, and so we'll get to see, if he can handle kind of regular work, not just a one-off pitching assignment. Looks like the Bandits and the Teal are getting ready to warm up their pitcher here in Indiana Baseball League tradition. We'll see, and really all baseball, you just don't see it as often. You have a pitcher warming up, probably throwing 5 to 7 pitches before the game will get underway. So, Jake, do you want to sing the national anthem before we get started, or?
I don't know if I've got the voice for that.
We see the throw there. So leading off for the Penguins looks like it'll be Everett Laughlin, who led off for them last week as well. So a fairly consistent lineup. And as the Penguins' actual manager and pretend manager here, I wouldn't change a whole hell of a lot if I were them. You know what I mean? You won, what was it, 12-5 last game? Scored 12 runs. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's kind of the thought process here. So we'll see. A few additions. For instance, the normal catcher for the Penguins and former All-Star Tyler Sherrard was away for military duty last week, but he'll be starting this week, so he'll be inserted in the lineup. So a couple minor changes like that, but for the most part, same lineup as last time. And we hear the catcher yell down 2, so that means they're going to throw down, and then we'll get ready to go. Obviously, big news for this channel this week is that I'm available in this game to come off the bench, doing double duty here, both announcing and pitching, maybe, if the situation calls for it. So we'll see as the catcher throws it down from his knees. Strong throw. Here we go. Everett Laughlin stepping up into the batter's box. Not a terrible view, not as good as last week, but not a terrible view.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the camera gets hit as much as last week.
Yeah, let's hope not. Laughlin steps in the box. Looks like we're ready to go. Penguins versus Bandits. Game 2 of Indiana Baseball League action. Pitch, and that's a strike. Just like that, we are underway here. All right, it's strike 2. So quickly 0-2 count. Morris in the strike zone early. Ball fouled off. So Laughlin protecting there with 2 strike count. Jake, as you know in baseball, right? 2 strike count means you got to choke up a little bit, try to protect a little bit. You're looking for typically a ball, but if one's in the zone like that one was, you got to swing away. As we see one hit to the third baseman, makes the throw. And that's out number 1 on the tag. So one away here quickly in the first inning on only 4 pitches. Up next is Sam Moran for the Penguins. As one of our players, I don't know if you just saw that on the side, catcher uh, threw the bat to the side over to the on deck circle, and it looks like it hit Alex Agrawal. So he's walking one off here. Took a bat to the knee before he even got up. So
Wow.
yeah, pretty rough start for him.
Yeah.
First pitch, and that's a strike swinging. So 0 balls so far in the first 5 pitches. Um, not playing around a whole lot. It's a pitcher that's confident in his stuff, I think. That's 2 strikes. Looks like he's a little behind on that one. Love the police sirens serenading us. Ball hit, and that drops. So that's a single there for Sam Moran to left field, a little blooper. And he's standing on first base with Agarwal up. So good start for Moran. Pitch there's a strike looking. Agarwal seems to be fine after the bat to the knee situation and the on deck circle. So that's good to see. He hits that one to the shortstop. It's a slow roller. Shortstop will have no play at second. Instead, he'll go to first, and they'll get the out. So runner on second, 2 outs here. Look at our scoreboard bug informing you of the game, which is good because we can't really see it real well out there. But hopefully they'll get better as the weeks go on. Derek White up. We talked about Derek last time, multi-time All-Star, um, career leader in home runs for the Penguins. As he swings the pitch. Swings at a curveball. That's strike 2. So 0-2 count. Still no balls in this inning. The ball is grounded down the left side. Still no 2 count. Foul ball. Steve's done throwing in. Ball doesn't, if the ball goes in the crowd, they don't use 100 baseballs in Indiana Baseball League like they do in the majors. Typically, both teams give 3 game balls, and you try to work with 6 game balls the whole game. So that's strike three. So that is 3 up. No, 4 up, 3 down. Bandits get out of that one. Penguins leave a runner stranded on second base. I'm sorry, but they do get a hit. And we go to the bottom of the first inning. Bandits up to bat next. So a decent start, Jake. They got a runner in scoring position. Unfortunately, weren't able to capitalize, but it's good to see the team get that first hit, first inning. So at least we know it won't be a no hitter at the very least going forward.
Yeah, it's always a good thing to get the bat started early. Even if you aren't able to get the run, just at least get somebody on base. But impressive pitching there. No balls in that first inning.
Yeah, absolutely, very efficient. Again, pitches that are in the strike zone, especially there. What do we see? 8 pitches in the strike zone, or whatever it was. Or no, sorry, 11 pitches in the strike zone, none outside. As a pitcher, clearly confident in his ability and his stuff. Colin Carey warming up here. Only his second game as a Penguin. Last game went 2 innings, gave up 2 runs um, in his debut outing, hoping to build off that a little bit here. Again, one of those, we talked about this last time. The Penguins have a mixture of rookie and veteran pitchers, and I think we'll probably see that mix again today with Colin starting. And again, some of those veterans that pitched really well will probably make it into this game as well. I doubt we'll see another 5 strikeout, 2 inning performance though, like we did last week, which was remarkable by Sam Moran, who had that hit in the first
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely going to be difficult to replicate.
inning. All right. Couple more pitches, we'll be ready to go. As you can see, one of the things that I'm really excited about this year for the Penguins, it's their 4th year in existence. Before we had a lot of games where we only had 9 or 10 guys at most. As you can see, the Penguins have the full field. Plus, you can see several guys sitting over on the third base side. Those are all Penguins players that are looking to get in the game as well. So some depth for the first time for the Penguins, which is something I know. 15 games doesn't seem like a lot, but guys are, especially when you're looking at that 25 plus range. A lot of guys are still going to weddings. They're doing family reunions on the weekends. You don't always have all of your players. As we see Malero step up here for 73 for the Bandits, and he takes ball one. So you got to have that depth, just because guys aren't going to be there every weekend. They're not going to be there every game like they would in a professional or even a semi-professional league. So you see a pop fly there to center field, to shortstop. I'm sorry, and that's out number one. So 1 up, 1 down, 2 pitches there goes Malario, and now we have Spurgeon up, number 24 for the Bandits. Carey throws the pitch. That's a ball. I don't want to call it too early because the umpire last time was it was a delayed call, so I don't want to look like an idiot. That's a swinging strike. 1-1. Ball outside. Jake, I don't know if have you been watching the College World Series at all? If not, I think it's the most slept on college tournament in sports. You see a hit there to the left side. That gets through the shortstop, and that'll be a single.
Yeah, I have not. I have been keeping up with it though. I know Coastal Carolina is one of the teams in there,
Yeah,
and they've got the teal jerseys. Not too far off of the
yeah.
Bandits here.
Yeah, I think they're the Chanticleers, is that right? Coastal Carolina?
Yeah,
Or no,
something
that's a
like
different yeah, it's,
something like
maybe
that.
yeah, but that's what their jerseys remind me of, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Um, you think about Cinderella stories, we get a ball there. And usually we talk about college basketball. I think they're trying to start to talk about that with college football a little bit. You look like at an Indiana this year, but college baseball I think has the biggest, and college softball. We see a ball there. Have the biggest potentials and have had the biggest Cinderella stories. I think back to 10 or 15 years ago, we saw a number 100 seed win the tournament. So it's exciting stuff if you're a baseball fan. That's a Or like cheering for underdogs. 3-0 count here. Somebody jumped on the bleachers. Pitch there is high. That's ball four. So we got runners now on first and second. After that quick out, we get a ground ball up the middle and then or in the gap, and then we get a walk. As we see like number 9, Webster up to bat. He fouls off the first pitch, so that's strike back in the strike zone there for Carey. Something you like to see after a walk is you want to see those pitchers battle back and get back in the strike zone. We see strike two, good curveball there. Gets the swing. That's a good 0-2 pitch. Thought the runner was going to go. They didn't. Good stop there by Sherrard. I think, one of the best defensive catchers in the league. Barely lets a ball get by him, and also has a strong arm for those trying to steal. Ball two. One of the original Raiders when this team was the Raiders, 4 years ago. One of, I believe, four players left from that original team, including shortstop Alex Agrawal, DH Derek White, and then myself as well. The ball's high. So he's worked it full now. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Um, Someone's got to learn how to work these balls and strikes back here. We need a producer. Have I ever told you that? Oh, there's a hit to third base. Off the third baseman's foot into the outfield. The shortstop gets the backup. Everybody's safe, however. That puts bases loaded and only one away here for the Bandits here in the first inning. Unfortunate, got the ground ball he needed for what looked like a double play. Unfortunately, ball goes off the third baseman Will Prine's foot, into the outfield nearly, but shortstop Alex Agrawal stops a run from scoring there, by keeping the ball in the infield. This is number 15, Kruger, the catcher for the Bandits. Up next, a lefty. So if you're carried now, you got to settle back down. You face a little bit of adversity. You get strike one. Does just that. That's a ball. Even though we hear strike being called, once again, that's first baseman Ricardo Jimenez with the call. Not always right. He calls strikes no matter what the pitch is. So pitch popped up and out of play. Strike two. That's a ball. 2 and 2 here. Kruger, bases loaded, 1 away after the error. Obviously, Carey's hoping for a ground ball to first base here. Make an easy double play with the left-handed batters. We get a timeout. Once again, not a lot of Major League Baseball rules followed by this league. Timing issues are not one, so you can call timeout and step out of the box as often as you want. Unlike in Major League Baseball, where you can only do it once per at bat. That's a ball. Full count. Ground ball, first base, like I called. Unfortunately, foul. That'll keep the count full. That's the pitch you really want if you're Carey, right? You get that ground ball to the first base side, hope for a quick step on first base and a throw down to second, but unfortunately, just right of the first baseline. And the pitch is another one, same spot. Good battle between pitcher and batter here. Pitch ground ball to the first baseman. Unfortunately, it shoots through the gap. That'll count as a hit. 1 run scores. Close play at home, but the second run scores. And the Bandits strike first, 2 to nothing here in the bottom of the first inning. So he got the ball he wanted to the left side. Unfortunately, it just got through that gap. There's a, obviously when the first baseman's holding someone on first base, there's a bigger gap on the right side of the infield. We saw that there. Kruger hit a hard ground ball through there and found that gap. Really nothing anyone could do about it. And now Putinelli is up. I'm sorry, McCain is up. Number 6 for the Bandits trying to add on to this lead. Still 1 away here in the first. Runner thought about going, but doesn't. Typical steal situation, first and third, less than 2 outs. Teams, as we talked about, usually have plays set for this. Penguins are no different. So if that situation comes, we'll see what happens. Ground ball, third base. And it gets through. That's a single. Another run for the Bandits. So that's a single by McCain. 3-0 Bandits here. Now Putinelli is up, number 4. Still 1 down, looking for that double play to get out of the inning. You look at this. I know it's 3-0, but really, Carey hasn't pitched that bad. Lots of ground balls. Nothing hit extremely hard. Unfortunately, they're just outside of the one error, just finding holes. That's a ball. 2-0 count here. Ball hit into center field. That drops in for a single. Runner tries to score from second and does. So the Bandits tack on another one, making it 4-0. Um, again, just decent hit, found the gap. As Cole is up, number 17. Still 1 away. Just unlucky baseball for the Penguins and well found hits for the Bandits here, which is a strike. Jake, as you and I know, this league scores quite a bit. So even if you're a Penguins fan, which I am, uh, you know, 4 runs in the first inning isn't insurmountable. But they do need to kind of stop the bleeding a little bit here as we get strike two.
Yeah, and we saw that last week too. A few runs scored in the first couple of innings there, and then Penguins came back, and
Yep,
it's a
that's right.
higher scoring league.
Yep, as we get strike three there. So Carey gets the strikeout. Two away now for the Penguins. So bring up Kernodle, number 11. Collins seems to be battling. He's only got the one walk. He's been throwing a lot of strikes, which you like to see from a young pitcher, particularly in a long inning such as this one. So we see a ball there. First one back to the backstop, and we didn't get hit, Jake. So that's a ball. 2-1. Wearing my Penguins hat for support today. Don't want to let the team down. Ball three. 3-1 here. Runners on first and second. Bandits already got 4 across this inning. Penguins looking to stop the bleeding here. Ground ball to shortstop. Shortstop goes to second, and that'll be the out. So that ends the inning. 4 runs score for the Bandits. Penguins up to bat, top second, down 4. Jake, if you're the manager here, what do you say to the Penguins as they come to the dugout?
I'm sure firsthand being the manager, but got some hits in the first. We're capable of doing it. Seeing what we did last week, we could come back from early deficit to higher scoring league. We can get that done.
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to settle down here, make good at bats. You're not going to hit a 7-run home run in this game. So, start to chip away one at a time. Up first for the Penguins, it looks like it's Steve Stunda who had the monster home run in the first game. One of 2 home runs. The other one hit by Ricardo Jimenez, the first baseman. So he moves up. I think he was batting like 7th or 8th last week. Hadn't played in a year or so because he was deployed during the last baseball season, was Steve. But after that home run and really a good day with the bat all around, he's been moved up to the cleanup spot. Um, so quick reward, one of the few changes in the batting lineup for the Penguins this week. And Jimenez, who batted 4th, will move down to 5th. Missed us.
Yeah, it looks like the camera might be set up a little bit better this week.
Yeah, a little bit further away. One of the things you see with a tripod, which is why I use that device that we talked about last week, is it's kind of hard to see through the fence, or in this case, the netting. They don't use a fence here; it's netting at this high school, which I believe is Bishop Chichard High School, is where we are. So shout out to Bishop Chichard for letting grown men play baseball on their field during the year. As we hear the catcher yell, "He's got a mustache. Be ready." Um, Pitch one. That's a ball. First ball of the game for Morris. So the mustache must have really thrown him off, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, you think about some of the baseball greats, and there's some great mustaches in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Mustaches in baseball are like peanut butter and jelly, or like beards in playoff hockey.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Yankee, this is the first year they get to have mustaches ever. So, uh, clearly they identified ground ball to third base, and that's out number one. Clearly identified did the Yankees why they were struggling so much the last couple of years. Need to keep up with the facial hair game. They did that, and now they may win a World Series. Who knows? And if they do, it's because of that. Jimenez up, first baseman for the Penguins, rookie as well to the IBL. Mostly plays softball, um, as in his adult recreational career, but moved back to baseball when he moved to Indiana here. Originally from, I think, New Jersey. Strike two. Comes the pitch from Morris. Strike three. He strikes out Jimenez on three straight pitches. So that's out number two. So Penguins need to get the inning going at all. Need to do it now. We see Adam Lesniak up, number 18 for the Penguins. He was on catcher duty last week. This week he's an extra hitter, um, which is different than a DH because in this league we don't have DHs. We have players that are just hitting. They're not hitting in particular for anyone as it takes strike one. But clearly someone that the Penguins manager respects his bat and wants him in the lineup. And I agree with him, frankly. Ball to right field, and it drops for a single. So that's a third hit for the Penguins. As we see Sam Jordan come to the plate, another rookie for the Penguins. Sam pitched the week before and is available to pitch today, but for now he's an EH, another extra hitter for the Penguins. And so they'll try to move the runner over here with two outs. Takes ball. There's the pitch, ground ball right back to the pitcher, bobbles it, gets the play at first, however, and that'll end the inning. Penguins get another hit, but unfortunately, no runs on the board as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Bandits still up 4-0. Well fielded by the pitcher. That's a harder play than it looks for most people when they see it because you're in such a like one shot mind, right? It's like throwing my entire body towards home plate with violence, and then the ball comes right back at you. He bobbled it a little bit, but kept his composure and threw it over to first base in plenty of time.
Yeah, those are always some of the most difficult and potentially dangerous plays when it goes straight back to the pitcher because it's not what you're expecting, obviously,
Sure.
but yeah, we this is a good play there.
It was, unfortunately for us. Unfortunately for those of you who are Bandits fans, of which I am not. I'm not a Bandits fan. At least today. They're cool guys, don't get me wrong. See a ball there. It looks like Carey will come out for a second inning. I think this is the right call. Looking back in retrospect, he I thought pitched well in that first inning. Just unfortunate some balls found some gaps. Down 4-0, maybe you make a pitching change here, but if you're trying to think of two things, right? You're trying to think of the rest of the season as well as this game, and so part of it is you got to kind of give the kid something to build upon. And so I think giving him a second inning, or at least coming out for a second inning here, is a good start to do that. It's one of those things. For me as a manager, it's really it's hard when a pitcher is pitching fine, but giving up runs to kind of make that decision of does he come out or not? Do we keep the team competitive or not? Or will he if he's out there? So we'll see. It's like Jones, number 3, is up to bat. He throws a strike to start the inning. Second pitch, also a strike. Good pitch. Batter was guessing the whole way. You could see by the way he kind of held up his swing. That's the ball. Good 1-0-2 pitch, trying to get the batter to chase outside the strike zone with a breaking ball away. Good job by the batter holding to not fall for that. Keep his bat going. The pitch, ground ball to third base. Third baseman drops it. He throws it over to first, but not in time. Actually throws it past the first baseman. Catcher's there in the backup. Hold it to one base. Probably not an error there, even though he dropped it. I think it was a long ranging play for the third baseman down the third base line. But he knocked it down, kept it in the infield. Smith, number 34, is up here, and kept the runner, like I said, to even one base. One of those fundamental baseball plays, though, to see the catcher sprint down the first base line to back up the first baseman along with the right fielder there. Fundamental baseball that, something we teach kids every day to do. And it's good to see a good example of it there that actually saves a runner from advancing. Carry with the pitch. That's way outside, ball one. I have that one clocked at 139 speed. It's funny. I was watching, we talked about it the other day. I was watching cricket last night. And they use KPH, obviously,
Mhm.
for clocking pitches, and it looks really fast. So that might be what we need to do. Um, they did have one cricket bowler that was his pitching was like 50 to 60 miles an hour. So I feel like I got a chance in cricket if my baseball career doesn't work out. It's ball three, 3-0 here. That's a strike. 3-1. Batter likely taking a pitch there on a 3-0, trying to get on base. Fouls that one back. We're safe.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God. 3-2 here. If you're wondering what that black object is there by the net, that is the water bottle for the umpire. The umpires in these games typically umpire 2 games back to back. And in the humidity of Indiana, that's not easy to do. That's high, and that's a walk. Runners first and second now, nobody out. It looks like the pitcher, number 27, is up. Looking for the double play ball here is Carey. That's a strike. Walk 2, but generally has been in the zone, has Carey. Just needs a couple of balls to break his way here to get out of this inning with no runs. Ball to the shortstop. He fields it, goes to third base. Third baseman catches it, and that's out number one. So one away here. Good job by the shortstop. The ball was carrying him towards third base, so he went ahead and threw it to third base to at least get the one out rather than trying to force the issue. Top of the order here, though. Malero is up. Ball is crushed, but the center fielder runs it down. Steve Stone does, so that's out number two. Plus defender in center field is Stun. He's super fast, can read a ball really well, makes the play easily there. As we hear from the bench, two outs here in the second inning. Looks like Spurgeon here. He takes strike one. So Kerry not a lot of blow it by his stuff. He's got the one strikeout, but he pounds the zone, which is something you want to see out of a pitcher early in the game to see if the other team can hit. Ball to the third baseman. He gets the out. So after giving up 4 runs in the first inning, Kerry does a great job. Gets out of the second inning. No runs allowed there. And the Penguins come right up to bat. What do you think about that bounce back performance, Jake?
Yeah, good rebound there. You know, he got the guys on base early in the inning, but didn't let that bother him. Was able to get the inning closed out there without allowing any runs.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a really good second inning for him, something to build upon going forward as he continues to build up for his career. Same pitcher out here in the second inning for the Bandits. Uh, it's all a little bit of the same pitching strategy between the Penguins and the Expos in game one, what I call pitch by committee. A lot of guys pitching a short amount of innings, maybe two, maybe 3 innings at most. You're seeing here what I would guess with the Bandits having a clear ace pitcher. If Morris is able to keep his pitch count relatively low, I expect him to go deep into the game rather than only pitching 2 or 3 innings. So a little bit of a difference in strategy, and it just kind of really depends on a couple of things. Is obviously, do you have a pitching staff that you can throw a lot of guys, and do you have like a dominant pitcher who's in great shape that can throw a lot of innings? It's like Tony Safranek is up making his debut with the bat this week. I don't think he batted last week. Tony is an all-star, returning all-star for the Instigators. Hit 364 last year. Really a breakout season for him. It was the second year as a Penguin. His first year, I think he was just kind of getting into the groove. Hadn't played a ton of baseball since high school, or really any baseball since high school. And now is just kind of getting in the groove and finding himself. Plays third base typically, but today he's EHing. So he takes strike one. Strike two. Fouled away there to stay alive. Good job. I actually think I look back, Tony missed the first game. So this is his debut game for the season with Will Prine playing third base last game. Ground ball is foul. Almost caught by yours truly over there on the third base side, but I missed it. Along with managing, I also coach third base. So just trying to do everything. Trying to be that guy. Ball comes in. Tony hits one up the middle. Caught by the pitcher, however, and that is out number one on the throw over to first base. So I got the bat on the ball there. Unfortunately, it goes right back to the pitcher. Fields his position, gets the out. Ryan Roofer up here, the lefty, left fielder. He swings through that one for strike one. Swings past that one as well for strike number two. Clock that one in at 147 speed using my radar gun. There, and he strikes out on three straight strikes. So again, Morris all over the strike zone. That's six strikes to start this inning. Seven strikes, I'm sorry. As Tyler Sherrard gets his first at bat of the season, the catcher for the Penguins. Hitting bottom of the order today. My strategy when I'm putting together a lineup is I really try to put a high on base percentage guy at the very bottom of the order in order to turn the order over to the top end. So usually I put um, when I can, although we have such a good batting lineup that I hesitate to say this at all. I try to put kind of the least reliable guy in that ninth spot, and then the 10th spot is always a guy that can get on base pretty reliably. Sherrard takes ball number one. Um, although I will tell you, that's no knock against Roofer. That guy gets on base quite a bit too. This is just a really strong lineup for the Penguins. Takes strike. We call that a strike or a ball? I couldn't tell. I think it was a strike. We'll find out. And it was a strike, and so was that one. So that will take us to the bottom of the third inning here. Penguins 3 up, 3 down, down 4. I believe the Penguins are bringing in a new pitcher. I saw someone warming up over in the bullpen down in the far left corner. We'll see who that is. As we have the designated catcher who's not a catcher for the first time in this game. Catcher got the third out, so now he's got to put on his gear, which means the guy with a mask is out there. It's Adam Lesniak this week, which makes sense because he's a catcher by trade. So probably the best at it. And it is indeed a new pitcher, Sam Jordan, number 11, who we saw last week pitch 2 innings of decent baseball where he only gave up 2 runs. We'll pitch in this one. So once again, Penguins going with rookie to start the game. What do you think about that call, Jake? Would you have gone with the veteran here, down 4, or would you have gone with the rookie?
I think it played off well last week. I think it worked in that situation early in the season. I think you might as well try it out again and see how it rides, and then based off of that, see what adjustments you make later in the season.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too. I think both of them pitched well in that first game, and honestly, Colin pitched well in this one. It's about keeping his pitch count down to start the season. But, Sam pitched well game one, so give him a shot at game two. See what happens. Down 4, there's not a huge difference between down 4, down 5, right? And so you might as well ride with the hand and see that got you here and see how it goes. The umpires are talking about what they're going to get for dinner after this. Probably steaks. I feel like all umpires eat steaks after games. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
The question is though, if they're getting a steak, are they eating it plain, or do you think they put condiments on it? I know
Oh
some
no, these
people.
guys are A1 guys.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, they get it like well done with A1
yeah.
sauce, Are you a condiments on steak kind of guy?
I am. I don't really, if I'm being honest, I don't really like steak, but if I eat
No.
steak, I'll use A1.
Yeah.
Definitely no ketchup though.
Yeah, no, that's those are people that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
If you eat ketchup on your steak, don't put it in the chat because we don't want to hear it. Bottom of the third inning here. Sam Jordan with the first pitch of his outing. That's a strike. Good start. Get a foul ball there. Quickly ahead 0-2. Looks like this is Paredes, number 12, up for the Bandits. His second at bat of the day. We call strike three, and the batter's out. So Jordan with a three straight strikes to start this one. We see the Bandits sending down a third base coach slash player. As we stated last week, almost all the teams have one player manager and then a bunch of guys that everybody else kind of pitches in for the other coaching duties as needed, typically on the bases. Strike number one. So that's four straight strikes from Jordan to start the inning and the outing. That pitch was so fast, the cops are trying to pull it over for speed limit violation. 162 speed on that pitch. That's the ball. A strike there called by the umpire and the first baseman. So that technically should count as two strikes. Instead, it's just one. Ball fouled away out of play on the right side of the field there. So still at 1-2. Sorry, in this one. I gotta tell you, running the scoreboard for a baseball game is a lot easier than running the scoreboard for a basketball
Yeah, I would definitely think so.
game. Another ball. Tried to put him away there with the curveball on the outside. Really nowhere near the zone, unless you ask the first baseman. It's a ball there. So full count. This is one thing we saw last game with Jordan is pitch count goes up a little bit as he's early in the season trying to find that strike zone. hopefully, as the season goes on, I think that will rectify itself. Looks like that's going to be out of play. Baby's charging at us. Still full count. Oh,
Uh,
they got us. All right. Well, let's see if we can get this fixed here. I heard contact. Let's see if we can. I'm working on it here, everybody.
it's amateur night for a reason.
That is correct. Let's see if I can. I know there's a way to rotate this. Hang on just a second. One of these is going to work, Jake.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm going to hide it here while the game goes on. I'll let you know what's going on. I got it. I'll get it fixed here in just a second. Not quite sure why it's crooked, Jake. They're all coming across the same way. All right. Well, let's take a quick pause. All right. Sorry. All right. Now, can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Good. What have we seen so far while I try to get this figured out here?
We got a nice view here of the Penguins logo, but we saw kind of a similar start to the first game we saw. Where a little bit of a slower start for the Penguins early in that game. Looking to get on the board here as we're in the third. But nice start for the Bandits. Some pretty good pitching to start things off, and nice contact with the bats. Not necessarily like any big, home runs, anything like that, but just consistently getting themselves on base to go up early in this match.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the baby attack we didn't see coming.
Yeah.
But beyond that, yeah, I think you're right. The pitching staff didn't look bad. We saw a lot of strikes early. Um, as I think we're about there. Um, but um, but yeah, so it looks like we're gonna go into like looks like a little bit of a cell phone mode. Let me see if we can make it any bigger here as we work through the kinks of amateur night, as it were. So um, yeah, let's get back to it here, Jake. I'm gonna attempt this and see what happens. So we want this one. Okay. All right. Well, that's almost right. There we go. Look at that. My gosh, amateur night is alive and well, folks. So we just work the scoreboard here so everyone can see it. All right, let's get back to it here as we learn how to work a mouse. There we go. All right, we are back underway. Much smaller screen here, unfortunately, due to the baby attack. Sounds like there is one out, so we'll reset everything. Looks like there's a runner on first with one out here. Bottom of the third. All right, Jake, we did it. Sort of. All right. So as we get back into this one, sorry again about that, folks, and Jake. As we see a strike there. The old landscape cell phone picture. Let's strike two. So far, good pitching by Sam Jordan. There's the kaiju that took us out. We heard in the background. That's the ball. Good stop there by the catcher. Got a 1-2 count. That's strike three. Another strikeout there by Sam Jordan, his second of the inning. Bandits are down to their last at bat or last batter, last out, I should say, of this inning. All right. There's the baby terrorist again. I think it's probably a faux pas to call babies a terrorist, so I'm not going to say that anymore. But our camera setup was working well ish, you know. All right. 1-1 count there after the strike. So ball gets past the catcher, and the runner will. Looks like we have runners at second and third, not just first. So here we go. We do indeed. Runners at second and third now with two outs. Sorry. Two-one count. Trying to stop the bleeding here and keep the Bandits at four runs as we get a timeout. Another ball. That makes it 3-1. Comes the pitch. Ball four. So bases loaded now, two away for the Bandits. Cole up here, number 17. He'll take a ball. So after a promising start, a little bit of trouble here for the rookie. Let's see if he can work out of it. Ball there. That looked really close to me. But I'm not an umpire. And I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night. So I don't know. You know, pitch. That's a strike. 2-1. 149 speed there on that pitch.
Yeah, the official metric of amateur night.
That's right. Speed. Get a foul ball. Comes back. We dodge it though. That makes it 2-2. 2-2. I'm sorry. Two count. Two outs. All three. Full count. So bases loaded. Full count with two outs. That means everybody's going to be moving on the pitch. One popped up, and so we will continue this at bat here. Been a long at bat. That was pitch number 6. Strike 3. He gets out of it. Top of the 4th. We're gonna try to fix this real quick in the middle of innings, Jake. Let's see if we can fix it. Get this a little bit bigger for our viewers. A little bit of a dangerous time to be doing this, but we live on the edge.
Yeah.
Let's do landscape. All right. Really interesting rotation we got going on here. Oh, that's closer. All right, let's see if we can. I don't know that that's much better. It's a little better, I guess.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, that looks a lot better, I think, don't you?
Yeah, that looks good.
All right.
We're not the only ones that have technical difficulties during broadcasting. I don't know if it was I swear I saw it last night on the Pacers game. I think the feed cut for a second. It said Friday the 13th. As odd as that was.
We'll edit it and post. No one will notice since we're not doing a
Yeah.
live stream or anything.
And then NASCAR is down in Mexico right now, and their practice had no audio for about 30 minutes. So
Wow, I watch IndyCar through a streaming service, and all of the during practice for the Indy 500, they lost power at the facility, so all everything cut except for whatever reason, like with 5 minutes, an extra 5 minutes. Here's Everett Laughlin batting, by the way. Um, Only the audio was coming through. 'Cause that's a ball, and no one knew it. So you heard the announcers just kind of talking and testing it. It was hilarious. He fouls that one away. It is a little weird though, because my screen over here is what's playing the game, as we're streaming it, and it's sideways, but this isn't. So makes it interesting for me for sure. So we see a strike there. There we go, making a few adjustments for me so I can see it a little easier. 1-2 count. He grounds one over to the right side. First baseman gets it, and they get the out. So first out here for the Penguins, who haven't hit the ball particularly well against Morris, I gotta say. Who's filling up the strike zone. We'll see Sam Moran up now. Got on base his first time up. A hit. See a ball there. Strike. Rare ball. I think we've only seen a handful of balls today so far in this game, all told. So see one there. Maybe if I keep saying it, he'll keep throwing them. That was a rare ball we've seen today. I haven't seen many of those. Let's see if it works. If so, my voice can travel through time, which is pretty cool. Nope. Okay. Well, I tried. It's 2-2 count. That pitch coming in at 138 speed, clearly a breaking ball. Either the wind is picked up or someone's blowing into the camera. So we get a strikeout there. Down number two. We see Alex Agrawal up now for the Penguins. Pitch, and he swings through it. That's strike one. Pitch number two, right in there. Strike two, right down the middle. I gotta tell you, I didn't have getting hit by a baby on our bingo card. Ground ball to shortstop. He'll make the throw, and that's out number three. So another three up, three down inning, two in a row now for the Penguins, or against the Penguins, I should say. So we head to the bottom of the fourth, 4-0 Bandits. What grade would you give the Penguins logo now that we've seen it?
it's a pretty solid logo. I would say it's probably worthy of an A.
I like that. It was designed by Alex Agarwal. It's the third ever logo in our history. The first was a Raiders logo someone made. It wasn't great. I didn't think it was great. Second one was okay. They used kind of a riff off of a college logo, and then this one was originally created by Alex Agarwal, which I like. I like the Indiana shape in it, in the gold. I like the angry looking penguin. You just kind of this team, like we wore light blue with pink pinstripes and white for 2 years. And the players decided they wanted something that looked more serious this year, so we went with the white and the blue pinstripes, and then the angrier looking penguin. I think is a good change for a team that wants to be competitive.
Yeah, I think so. I think, whatever animal you've got, you got to make them look a little fierce. Obviously the
Yeah,
instigators logo, um, you got the gator on there. So
yeah. I like it. It's kind of does the same thing, right? It's got some fun in it as well. You got that basketball eye on the instigator, which is really cool. You got the Indiana logo behind the penguin, so you kind of do add different elements together, but overall it looks really fierce. So um, here we go. Now, looks like Jordan is back out on the mound. Probably a good move there. As we see Cole up, number 17 here for the Bandits. The pitch. It's a ground ball. Second base has it. Makes the throw to first, and that's out number one. So the Bandits, we were talking a lot about the Penguins' offensive struggles. The Bandits haven't scored since the first inning. And last inning they had bases loaded, left all three guys on. You just got to wonder if you leave the Penguins hanging around, eventually you got to believe that that offense is going to click and come back in this one. So the Bandits in a little bit of a rut as well as Kernodle is up, number 11. He takes the ball. Once again, the baseball gods blow into our ear. A little high there, ball two. Think I'm just going to make a highlight reel of the camera going crazy in this amateur night season. There's a strike. 2-1 count here. Something that you want to see Jordan kind of progress in as the season goes, and I believe he will, is getting ahead in the count more often instead of battling back, although he's been really good at that so far in the first two games. And there's another strike, strike two. That's all three, I thought. And it is, so he'll come back to hit. He fooled me. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's 2-2. I've been counting. Um, Eager to get on first base, though, is Granolo. Now he'll go to on first base. You just hope, like, when somebody does that, that they strike out. You know what I mean? It just feels that's what feels fair,
yeah,
is that
yeah.
they strike out there, but, he didn't.
He willed that one into existence.
Yeah, for sure.
It could work though. Like if you got an ump that's not on top of his game, you can maybe pull it off every once in a while.
Yeah, maybe. That's a swing and a miss. So runner on first here with one out. Looking for the double play ball. I will tell you, unlike Major League Baseball and rec league, as you can imagine, double play balls don't always become double plays, right? Like it's just Players aren't, as technically sound, obviously, because it's a rec league where people play once a week. But still, as a pitcher, that's what you got to aim for here, right? If you get the ground ball to shortstop or second base, you've done your job, whether you get one, two, or zero outs. It's hard pitching in these leagues because you do have to keep that's the ball there. That mental toughness going, even when things don't go perfectly to plan, which is often the case. That's a ball. 2-2. Good scoop there by the catcher to keep the runner at first base. That is strike three. So another strikeout. I think that was the third strikeout so far for Jordan. So a really good outing so far by him. Inning in 2/3. No runs allowed. That's a strike there. So he looks dialed in here. Looks like your call was right, Jake, to put out the rookie again. Go rookie, see how it goes, and then maybe go with the veterans to close out the game. Um, so far, looks good with Sam Jordan on the mound. That's them all. One of the things I love about listening to the audio of these games is you just hear how like positive all of the guys are with each other. Always cheering each other on, telling them nice job, even when it's not a strike or whatever, or when you just foul a pitch off, as we see that one fly out, and that's caught in right field. So that will be out number three for this one. Ends it. Take to the top of the fifth. Bandits up four. But yeah, even like when it's an error or a guy swings and misses or just fouls one off, you hear guys encouraging each other. Everyone out there just kind of having fun. So I like hearing that. I like hearing the positive energy. It's something that you and I have talked about a lot for the instigators is that we want to see more positive energy and things like that. I think it makes the entire watching experience more pleasant, but also like makes players want to stick around. So top of fifth, still Myers out there. As we said, Bandits looking to go pretty deep with their pitching staff. But also his pitch count's really low, so he can do that. Two teams wait here for the fifth to start. Throw down to second, and we're underway here as Will Prine goes over to coach first base. Looks like Derek White up here. Clean up the third hitter, sorry, for the Penguins. Comes the pitch, and that's a strike. 1-1. Ball hit over to the right side. First baseman gets the ball, throws it over the pitcher, and that's out number one. Great play by the first baseman. Getting a little bit of range, sliding on his knees and throwing it over to the pitcher covering. Again, good fundamental baseball by the Bandits. Steve Stunda up here. 0 for 1, grounded out to pitcher, I think, his first time up. He takes a strike. Oh gosh, we're being attacked again. Looks like we're just being centered a little bit here, maybe. Okay, this is the wrong direction. That was a hit though. So we have a runner on first. All right, that worked out okay. If they leave us be here, they okay. That's good. Take that. All right, good. Leave it there, person. Ground ball over to third base. Throw down to first, and that's out number two. So too slow of a bouncer there. Weren't able to turn the double play. I feel like we're more aligned now. We're gonna say that they aligned the camera. It looks good. Um,
Yeah, pretty good setup there.
yeah, yeah. Adam Lesniak up. He went one. He hit a single to right field his last time up. He grounds one out. That's foul to the right side. Strike. Honestly, this might be the best setup we've had this whole game.
Yeah, it's pretty good in the center right now. You got, it's lined up very well.
Yeah. Lesniak steps back into the box. 0-1. Runner on second base with two outs. Looks behind on that one. That's strike two. 162 speed. I'm not surprised he couldn't catch up to that one. That ball's cruising. Outside that first inning, this has been a heck of a pitcher's duel. Ground ball up the middle. Right back to the pitcher who gets the play. Pitchers are athletes too, Jake. Remember that. They can field their position, and Myers has done that. I think that's the third one today. Back to him to get the out.
Yeah, I think so. He has done pretty good defensively every time they've been hit towards him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to do. You really got to work on like landing the right way coming off a pitch so that if the ball's hit to you, you can field it. Um, but yeah, he's done it all three times, choppers. Penguins get their first hit since I believe the second inning, however. Leave another runner in scoring position. Let's see who's coming out to pitch. It looks like it's going to be Sam Jordan for a third inning. I think that's the right call here. Again, I know I'm the manager, but I make mistakes, and so I'll call him out if I see him, Jake. But this doesn't feel like one. Two innings, no runs scored. I think it's right to extend him a third inning, see how it goes.
Yeah, I would agree. Solid pitching from him. And we've seen him work out of some situations too, full counts and such, and having
Yeah,
guys on base, but still no runs allowed. So I'd keep him rolling in this fifth inning.
yeah, absolutely. So meanwhile, Bandits look to get their bats going again. They have come close, left guys on in the last couple of innings, but haven't been able to get break through and score like they did in the first inning. And clearly they'll want to pad that 4-0 lead again. A real low scoring game, particularly for an IBL game. Comes Jordan with the pitch. They'll throw down to second here, and we'll get underway. Throw down. Good throw there by Sherrard, and we'll get this game underway. Get this inning underway. So top of the lineup, 73 Malero is up. Pitch. Call it for a strike there. This umpire's motions aren't as clear as the last umpire's motions. So, like, I gotta check every now and then, you know what I mean? Um, See if it's actually a strike. Top fly, second base looks like he's got it. No, shortstop takes it. That's out number 1. Here we go, Spurgeon, number 24 up. Ball outside. There's a strike. It's a ball there. I really like this field. We don't talk about it a whole lot, but there is an actual bullpen here outside the fence, unlike most high school fields. We see the pitch. That's a ball. Most high school fields, have the bullpen kind of. I want to say just kind of down the foul line. There's like one, but this one full bullpen on the home side with two bullpen spots. That's a walk. So runner on first, one away here, or the Bandits. Pickoff move over first. First baseman pretends to miss the ball. Doesn't work that time either. First theatrics of the game, Jake.
Yeah, I think we saw that once last week as well.
Yeah, I think we saw it twice. I think we're gonna have to give him like an Emmy or an Oscar or something at the end of the season if he continues with this trend. Although it's not worked once, so maybe not. Pop fly out of play. I didn't see it go out of play. That's just what that means when the umpire does
Yeah.
it. There's one hit to the outfield. It drops in front of the center fielder. Throw to second base is an out. So couldn't really see that one there, but center fielder dropped the ball coming in. Obviously, the runner has to freeze with less than 2 outs. He freezes, and then Steve Stoney uses his strong arm and makes the throw to get the out. So saves himself from an error there. If he doesn't get the out, it's an error. But since he does, it's a fielder's choice. That's the hard way to do it, Jake. Like Webster, number 9. Takes a sign from the base coach. Their normal manager isn't there, but I will tell you, he has the craziest signs. I think they change them every week. We're down to second. Gunned him down on the stolen base. That's 3 outs. Eventful inning there for the Penguins. That's some real baseball. You get the drop slash throw into a fielder's choice and then caught stealing. That gets them out of the inning. Still 4-0. Penguins battling back, at least defensively. They need to get some runs going.
Yeah, yeah, that was a nice throw down there from the catcher to second. He read that perfectly. But yeah, I mean, continuing though, some nice pitching there for the Penguins. Though, just got to get the bats going here as we go into the sixth.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like it's still Morris on the mound. Not really surprised. He's been hyper efficient, going for a Maddox complete game at this point, which is for those of you that aren't baseball fans, less than 100 pitches and a complete game. Uh, Something Greg Maddox was known for in the 90s, but typically doesn't happen in baseball. Still a long way to go in this one, though. I think, if I'm the Penguins manager, I'm thinking about something to get the kind of inning started. Maybe you start off with a bunt here or something, just try to get him off his rhythm. Um, just to try to break something up here for the Penguins and try to get something going. So we're down to second. We're ready to go. See Will Prine going over to cover first base. Third baseman slash pitcher. Sam Jordan's up, so I take that back. I would not bunt with Sam Jordan. Not because he can't bunt, but as the guy that's been pitching, definitely don't want him trying to do a drag bunt after throwing 3 innings. And I'm wrong. He bunts. So I did do it, and it didn't work. Not surprised by that at all that he's out. It was a well placed bunt, but you gotta believe his legs are tired after 3 innings. So that's a mistake by me. Whoops, that's funny. It was a good bunt, just didn't work out. All right, we're safe. Ball comes right back at us. That's so funny. I had forgotten that he bunted there. I didn't remember that at all.
Yeah, I think that's part of the best part of amateur night is having the thoughts of the game, and then you watch it, and then you look back, and you can reflect on it.
Yeah, exactly. What was I thinking there?
Yeah.
I should have bunted Tony. Tony's fast. I don't think he can bunt though. Ground out to second base. That's out number 2. Yeah, I'm not sure if Tony can bunt. That was probably a better call there is to have him bunt. You don't want to bunt here with Roofer, the left fielder, even though he's fast and can bunt as well. But there's 2 outs. So clearly, I was of the same mind during the game that I wanted to break it up, but that was probably the wrong person in retrospect. That's a strike. Oop. So Myers looking for another quick inning. That's a swing and miss. Strike 2. That still cracks me up. I can't help it. That's strike 3. 3 up, 3 down there for the Penguins. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Penguins still down 4-0 against the Bandits. Bandits player is coming near the camera. See if he talks shit about me. I'm just kidding. Yeah, can you believe they just tried to bunt with their pitcher to get him on base? I can't. I did it. And that's baseball. Designated warm-up catchers out because our catcher was on deck there. Looks like Will Prine has stepped on the mound, number 6 for the Penguins. So Sam Jordan's day is done. 3 runs or 0 runs, 3 innings, couple hits and a walk. Pretty good stuff out of him overall. Good step forward for him. Wait a minute. That's not Will Prine at all. That's me, Corey Kern on the mound. The lefty making his season debut. Down 4, so I'm gonna try to hold us here. Should I say he or I? I don't know what to do in this situation. I've never called a game that I've played in before.
I don't know. That's a difficult situation. I don't know. Some people like the third person. Others, they get weirded out by that.
I know. I'm just not gonna refer to myself. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Yeah, yeah. You can just use like a default like pitcher or he.
Yeah, yeah. Or the batter. I'll talk about the batter rather than the pitcher.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go talk signs here. I added a new pitch this year. Well, I didn't really add a new pitch. I revamped a pitch that um, wasn't used very often last year, so I want to use it more this year, and that's a changeup. So we'll see if that's what we were talking about. I think it was. Here it comes, debut. Curveball, ball one. Not a good start. Pull me. Pull him. It's terrible. There's a ground ball to the third baseman. High throw, but the first baseman makes the tag, and that's out number one.
Yeah, nice athletic move there.
Yeah, absolutely. Ricardo with the play, uh, which we didn't mention, but I think in the third inning, Tony Safranek moved to third base, taking Will Ryan and giving him a breather. So typical move that we pull. I try to keep pitchers out of the field as much as possible if we're going to use them because I want to try to have them warm up, before they go on, and it's easier to do if they're not in the field. So Tony goes in for Will. That's one away. You're in the bottom of the sixth. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Sweeper way outside. Get away. Get back. I'm just kidding. Stay away from us. There's the 1-0. Top fly. Right field ranges over, and that's out number 2. That's 2 outs on 4 pitches. Good start for the lefty reliever here. Comes the pitch. That's a sweeper for a strike. If you're keeping track, Jake, that's 0 fastballs so far in this inning on 5 pitches. Ball strike 2. So 0-2 count here for Kern. Ground ball to third base. Third baseman throws it over. Another leap and tag, and it's an out. Three outs on seven pitches. Penguins hold it to a 4-run lead going into the top of the seventh. All right, Jake, break down that debut.
Yeah, efficient debut there from the left-handed relief pitcher. A lot of contact from the batters, but all in play and three outs, three up, three out.
Yeah, it's part of a kind of a new pitching strategy we're using this year where you see the heat from Sam Jordan coming in, who throws typically 150 to 160 speed. And then, you got me who's more like a 100 to 110 speed, but with a lot of break. No fastballs thrown in that inning. And we get out of it. So good stuff. We'll see who pitches the next inning. But
Yeah, you got to keep the batters guessing. Obviously the change from the higher speed to still over 100, but in the
yeah,
speed
yeah.
range just a little bit lower.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But the Penguins really got to get the bats moving here in the seventh inning. They're running out of outs. Oh, they said hi stream. They were saying hi to us, Jake. Did you hear that? Hi back. And Myers still out there. And why not? He's been pitching a hell of a game.
Yeah, I feel like you don't pull him unless, something changes on the bats for the Penguins. You just let it ride.
Yeah, why risk it? Especially because 4 runs is super gettable right now. So, if you pull him and then the other pitcher gives up hits, it's kind of a bad move. As Tyler Sherrard, catcher, will come up. That beautiful throw down to second base a couple innings ago. It's a strike. Foul ball, strike two. Baseball gods whispering in our ears. Maybe that means this will be a home run. That's the ball. Close. Takes ball two. That was a close one. Really good movement. I would say it was like a 67 movement. If you're keeping track of stats. All there. I think movement can be a stat. I think it's something we track. Makes sense. Full count here. Comes the pitch. No walks so far in this game. Still right there. First walk of the game in the seventh inning. Pretty good pitching there. As we move back to the top of the order, Everett Laughlin up. Wearing the stirrups. Shout out to Everett for the stirrups. And so we're seeing it here. Pinch runner here. Not a pinch runner, but it's a courtesy runners, what this league calls. So the last batted out, which was Ryan Roofer, will go to first base for the catcher. Automatic for pitchers and catchers, though you can designate other people instead of the pitcher and catcher. So, for instance, if I were playing first base, you could say instead of the catcher, we're going to do first base and pitcher. But courtesy runner, so not a new person in the game. Tyler will catch going forward. He just won't run the bases here. We get a strike. Another IBL rule that I think would be good for Major League Baseball. What do you think about this rule? I was thinking about this the other day. What if every inning you start at the top of the order?
That's interesting. I'm sure the guys lower in the order may not be fans of that.
Get a bunt there, and that goes foul. Yeah, I'm sure not, but maybe get good. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So the attempted bunt there with the runner on didn't work out. Get a ball. 1-2 count. So another attempted bunt. I do agree with that call this time. Everett's pretty good bunter. You got speed on first base, trying to move the runner over. You need runs here. Um, Top of the order, I think that's probably the right move. It just didn't work out. He strikes out there. So that's one out now. Sam Moran up. 5 strikeouts on the mound last game in 2 innings of work. Batting second, going Otani today. That's what we call him, Otani. He fouls that one off. See the on deck player get the ball. No bat boys in this league, Jake. I tried to convince my son to be a bat boy, but he wasn't for it. What did I get? There's a strike. It's too boring. That's what he told me. So I maturely told him he's too boring.
Yeah.
Kind of where that argument ended.
Yeah, throw like a free jersey in there too.
Oh yeah, for sure. We gave him one and a helmet. The whole
Oh yeah.
thing. Here's the ball hit to left. And it's caught for out number 2. 1 on, 2 outs. We even gave him the helmet with the face mask, so he doesn't get hit. But no.
Yeah.
I don't know what more you can offer a kid these days, other than bat boy for his dad's rec league team. What else is there in life? He was also like 6 at the time. That's a ball. So maybe now he's a little older. Maybe he'd think about it. Probably want like Robux or something for it though. And I'm not
Yeah.
a pay out. So foul ball. 1-1 count. Here comes the pitch. He hits one up the middle. Second baseman can't get it. It goes to the outfield, and Roofer, the courtesy runner, moves from first to third. And then they throw back to first base, catch Agrawal too far off. That's out number 3. Aggressive rounding. I think he assumed they were going home with it. They fired back. The cutoff man fires back to first and gets the out. Uh, Tough way to end the inning for the Penguins, who had something cooking, it looked like. But instead, they'll remain blanked. 0-4. Looks like we're going to go with the same pitcher catcher combination here. It's the last inning, and why not? 7 pitches. Might as well throw a few more. Comes curveball. Terrible pitch. Pull him. That's horrible. It's interesting. I didn't know how this game was going to go for me, and we'll see here as I continue. But I had just gotten back from France like 4 days before, um, so hadn't had a whole lot of time to warm up and practice. But you know, when the team needs you, you answer the call.
Yeah.
Just don't answer it poorly because then you don't get to play anymore. You're like, yeah, you shouldn't have gone out there at all. Throw down a second. Looks good. And we'll get this one underway. Seventh inning, bottom of the seventh. Bandits up 4-0, looking to extend that lead. They haven't scored since the first inning. And the Penguins haven't scored at all. So really, if this were match play, it'd only be 1-0,
It's true.
like banana ball style. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball up the middle, gets through, puts a runner on first base. So first hit given up by Kern this season in his second inning of pitching. So not really that good of a stat. Lead off at first. Ground ball to third base. He picks it up. Can't make the play. We got runners at first and second now with nobody out. So two balls again, reminiscent of the first inning. Weren't hit hard, but they just kind of find the gaps. Now all of a sudden the Penguins are in a little bit of trouble. Runner's going to third. Ball's overthrown. The runner will come in. No, the umpire is calling timeout. He's going to call interference on the batter on that. The batter kind of backed into the catcher. So they're going to call the runner out. So Penguins get kind of bailed out there. Runner on second, one out. So once again, just to review that, the batter backed out of the batter's box, which the catcher stepped that way to make the throw. Batter got in his way and he hit him, and causing the ball to go way off target. And we get a catch there, so that's out number two. So unfortunately, that out, if you're a Bandits fan, of which I'm not, especially right now, that costs them big because at the very least, you probably had runners on second and third as the runner got a good jump. But instead, you have a runner on second with two outs. And if you don't get that interference call, even if it's a good throw down to third base, that fly ball probably scores a run. Ball. Good curveball on the outside. Doesn't get the call though. Another ball, 2-1. Called strike on that one. 2-2. Lefty looks like he's pounding the outside corner trying to get a ground ball. Foul ball. Still 2-2. Get away. Here comes the pitch. Strike three. That will end the inning. So Penguins getting a little bit of trouble there, but they get right back out of it. 17 total pitches thrown by the lefty in 2 innings. Only a 10 pitch inning there, and score remains 0-4. Interesting inning. Unfortunately, the batter kind of undid it for the Bandits. It looked like they had something going, but instead they get nothing. And we continue with the 1-0 match play, but 4-0 on the scorebook, Jake.
Yeah, yeah, nice solid inning there from the pitching. I've got to feel though, if I'm the base runner, maybe a little upset that I'm the one that gets called out and not the batter. I feel like maybe that's the opinion they'd have on that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. He didn't do any the base runner didn't do anything wrong, you know, but instead he's out. The batter continues the at bat. Karma got him though. He was also out. He flew out to center field. But yeah, I'd be angry for the base runner. Myers out there for the eighth inning. This phone call sounds interesting.
We saw towards the end of the seventh, the Penguins got the bats going a little bit, so hopefully
Yeah,
that momentum carries into this inning. But they're definitely going to have to get something on the board here. Just two more opportunities.
yeah, absolutely. And this is a good time to do it. Middle of the lineup, 3-4-5 up as Derek White is up for the Penguins here. You got to believe if they're going to do something now, would be a good time to start. We see another strike. Good pitching by Myers, just finding the strike zone all day. Good ball there. Swung through that one, strike two. Penguins batters have just been on the back foot this entire game, constantly down in the count. Another foul ball. And if you're not a baseball fan, you may not believe that, but the stats bear it out that if you're behind in the count, much less likely to get on base. It's a real thing. Even if it's 0-1, the difference between 0-1 and 1-0 is massive. He gets strike three, and he'll sit down for out number one. So Steve Stunda up now, home run hero from game one. Don't need a home run here. Just need a base runner. That's a strike. Takes the ball there. 1-1. It's a ground ball, right side foul. So that makes it a 1-2 count. So instead of now moving into protect mode a little bit, two strikes on him. Swings out. That's second strikeout of the inning here. So maybe that progress we saw with the Penguins, we spoke a little too soon, Jake. It's kind of gone back to right where it was.
Yeah.
But Ricardo Jimenez is up. He hit a home run last game as well. He's gonna try to make it on base here. He gets the strike there. Jimenez looking for something he can drive. Swung at a curveball there, way out of the zone, and that's strike two. So we get a timeout. Ground ball right back to the pitcher, and guess what he does there, Jake? He makes the play. That's three up, three down. Myers doing it all for his team, pitching well and fielding well. We get to the bottom of the eighth here. Bandits up 4-0. I don't remember the last time I've seen so many balls hit right back to the pitcher in a single game, but did there, and he's fielded them all. I think that's the fourth or fifth one we've seen now. Looks like Will Prine will take the mound now for real this time. Prime pitched the last game, gave up no runs. Pitched pretty well, we thought. I think at the time, so he's gonna try to keep this a 4-0 game and give his Penguins a chance in the top of the ninth to tie this one up. Jake, if you're the Bandits, do you leave the starting pitcher out there, or do you put in a closer in the ninth inning, assuming the score is the same?
I feel like you leave the starter in there. The four runs kind of a good cushion. You know, if he lets up a run in the inning, then maybe you consider it putting in a closer at that point. But I think
Yeah,
the 4 runs. I mean, the only way you're getting four in one swing is if it's a grand slam.
yeah, that's right. And we'll have plenty of warning if that's coming up.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I think I'd leave him out there too. Obviously, if the score grows anymore in this inning, definitely leave him out there. Um, generally, I think if a guy has a shutout going, I like to leave him out there until that shutout's gone, unless unless he's feeling arm pain or fatigue or something. But want to make it his call, not mine at that point. 2 years ago, we had a pitcher that was pitching really well, but we were up like 20-0. So I decided to pull him out, and he argued with me about it. And I was like, "Dude, I want to save your arm." And he goes, "I have a no hitter going," and I had no idea. And so I was like, "Okay, you can stay in the game." And he threw a no hitter in that game. Uh, but yeah, I was like, "I want to save your arm," and because we didn't have a ton of pitchers then. But man, you can't pull a guy with a no hitter. That's Cardinal
Yeah, you definitely can't do that.
sin. But his face, man. He wasn't like a player that argues. You know what I mean? He's a good dude, but he was right to argue in that situation. I was like, "Oh, you do? My bad." Bandits up here, up 4-0. Will Prine looking to build on the success of the last game. Second veteran. So again, you see, um, as we get a ball there, you see rookie, veteran as the pitching rotation here for the Penguins. Only difference is that obviously went with me instead of Sam Moran this year, who's going to be more of a closer. Ground ball up the middle. That'll be a base hit. So yeah, if you look at the stat sheet, I'm much more designated middle relief, and you have Sam Moran with this strikeout stuff as the closer. Um, Saw that. So obviously, sixth, seventh inning, you want to put in the middle relief setup guy. Um, and then Will is interesting because he's more of a starter slash reliever, so he can kind of go both, more of that long reliever starter look as he hits the batter there. So that'll put batters on first and second with nobody out, and quickly, Will's in a little bit of trouble here. Man, hitting a batter never feels good. Comes the pitch. That's a strike. So Will gets right back in the strike zone, which you want to see. Steps off and chases the guy back to second base. Felt like the runner had a little bit too big of a lead. That's a foul ball for strike two. So 0-2 count. 0-2 pitch is a foul ball. So Will sticking straight close enough to the strike zone here to get a couple swings on 0-2 pitches. Unfortunately, contact was made with both of them. The at bat continues. Will again chases back to second base. We haven't seen a ton of base running in this game. The two times the Bandits have tried to steal bases, they've both resulted in an out between the guy thrown out at second base a couple innings ago and last inning with the interference call. So, you're probably thinking here they're not going to try a third time, especially up 4-0. But also, like getting a fifth run in would be huge for them. Ball's hit hard, but it's an out, so that's out number one. So good job by Prine to get the out after allowing the first two base runners on. We've seen this a couple times here where the Bandits start something that they don't finish. So the Penguins are going to try to continue that trend here. One out. We've been cut off again. Who did that? That's a foul ball. 1-1. I'm called one a strike that wasn't a strike. 1-1. Wishful thinking. It's a ball. Close pitch there. Ball's hit far and deep. And that is a home run. We get the home run there by the Bandits as we saw the cool home run graphic. You didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I wasn't expecting that.
Um, and now Bandits lead 7-0 on that 3-run home run by Spurgeon, number 24. Let's see it again just for fun. There's the home run graphic with the Bandits logo, guys. Write that down. That's good broadcasting there. That makes up for the camera issues earlier,
Yeah, yeah, no, it evens itself out.
I think. One out here in the eighth. Bandits now extend their lead 7-0. Will gets the swing and miss there. It's tough as a pitcher. You give up the home run, you got to come right back and battle. First home run given up by the Penguins this season, I believe, here in game two. See a foul ball for strike two. Another foul ball, so we'll stay at 0-2. I think Will needs to get a little bit. I hate to say this for pitchers, but I think he needs to get a little bit out of the zone here. They're just kind of automatically swinging. You got to give them the idea that you're going to throw a ball. But we see now 3-0-2 pitches fouled off. Got to kind of waste one a little bit like that. Just trying to get yourself back into it. So that way they're not thinking swing right away because the reaction time in baseball is so slow or so fast. I mean, like Major League Baseball, which this is not. They throw it closer to like 190 speeds. Um, they like, it's a 0.3 second reaction time from the time the ball leaves the pitcher's hand to when you got to make contact. It's a little slower here, but it's not super slow. You know what I mean? So you need to make a split decision. And so if you think it's always going to be a strike, that makes that decision easier. But he gets a strikeout there, so that's 2 outs. Webster up here takes ball one. So pop fly. It lands, so that'll be a single. 7-0, single there with 2 outs gives us a runner on first base. Not as sharp of an outing for Trine, as we saw the walk, the hit batter. I think gives up the home run, but back in the strike zone, just gets the strikeout, and then obviously just a little bloop single there. So again, mental stuff that pitchers got to go through on the mound, the adversity. He's battling through that now, and I think he's doing a decent job doing that. No one wants to give up a 3-run home run. Don't get me wrong. Um, but what matters is just as much as that pitch is the pitches after that. Gets the swing and a miss there on a dirty breaking ball. So there you go. Once again, throws a ball. Guy looked like he was looking fastball for a strike. Swings out of his shoes. Good pitch. Baseball guys just whispered this is going to be a strikeout, Jake. Heard it. Told you. 1-2 count here. It's a ball. It skips by the catcher. He can't find it. The runner will advance to second. 2-2 count. Goes 2-2 pitch. That's strike three. That'll end the inning. So we head to the ninth. Penguins got 3 outs left to score 7 runs. Much taller ordeal, I would say, than the four it was before. But you do it one batter at a time. Um, they'd held the Bandits scoreless for 7 innings. So good pitching overall, good fielding. Uh, Again, a very clean game by the Penguins defensively. Likely won't see them again unless they score a bunch of runs here. And it is indeed Myers back out on the mound to try to finish this one off. Well, Jake, do you try to start this inning off with a bunt?
I don't know. I mean, that's seven's a big deficit. You need to do something to kind of get them out of the rhythm. I don't know. The bunt is a little risky, I think, just
Yeah, I think
because.
you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
high likelihood for an out,
yeah. I
especially as
mean,
good as their pitcher's been.
yeah, you could there's other ways to throw the pitcher off rhythm. After every pitch, you could step out of the box and take a time. Maybe not the best sportsmanship with that, but
You want sportsmanship or do you want to win, Jake? That's the
yeah.
question in adult men's rec league wooden bat baseball.
Yeah, but I'm sure that would throw him off, if it's every single pitch, every single batter
Yeah.
until something happens. But
You could like pretend to get hit every time he throws it.
yeah, just three balls, start walking to first base.
Yeah, absolutely. One ball, start walking to
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
Because by the time they call you back after every ball, even do it for the first strike. You know. But again, this is another game. The last game went all 9 innings in the 2 hour 45 minute time limit. This game is in the ninth inning, right? Which means we'll play a full nine, regardless of the time limit. Because once the inning starts, you can't stop in the middle of the inning due to the time limit. So fast paced baseball and clean baseball by both teams, which you like to see. So we see the warm ups here by Myers. So if he gets through this inning, that'll take him to 13 innings in 2 games, pitching wise for the Bandits. Catcher drops the ball. And he throws a grenade style throw down to second base. Adam Lesniak up for the Penguins. Going to try to get on base and start this inning off the right way here for the away team. Looking down the third base line, clearly expecting some sort of signal from me. Um, we'll see if I called a bunt or not. I honestly don't know. I did, or at least a fake bunt. That's ball one. So he makes contact with it. I'm going to assume it's a fake bunt. Sometimes you put the fake bunt out there, you just want to see how they react, and it must have been because that's a strike no show that time. You just want to see how the fielders react once on a fake bunt. Just swing and a miss makes it 1-2. Comes a pitch by Myers. It's the swing and the miss. Catcher drops it. He's going to throw down to first, and that's out number three or out number one. I'm sorry, strike number three, out number one. Once again, drop third strike if there's nobody on first base. If you're not a baseball fan, that means you can try to run to first base. You can also try to run to first base if there is someone on first base, only if there's 2 outs in the inning. So if that would have made the third out, you can run down. Sam Jordan up, laid down an excellently executed bunt last time, poorly called. With one out here, I gotta believe you're just gonna swing away. So we get the foul ball right back at us. We're protected though. Yeah, with one out now, the bunt's got to be completely out of the window. That was a pitch. That's strike two. 0-2 count here. You see Sticks get something here. He swings and misses, so that's another strikeout. What is that? What 4 or 5 straight strikeouts here I think he struck out the side last inning and has got 2 here. Gonna come down to Tony Safranek. I don't know how to say his last name. It's one of those 2. First pitch is a strike. Strike 2. Penguins down to their last strike here. It's inside. He swings, drop third strike, throw down to first base, and that'll end the game. That ends it for us. Penguins take their first loss of the game, 7-0 to the Bandits. Great game by the Bandits. We see both teams shaking hands after the game. Clearly, player of the game for me is Morris. Uh, Looks like he finished with a complete game, shutout, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts, only gave up 4 hits on 104 pitches, including 11 there in that last inning. So, a good game there by the Bandits. Well played defensively by the Penguins as well. Just unfortunately couldn't get the hits going. Jake, what are your takeaways there as the Penguins fall to 1-1?
Yeah, like you said, great job pitching from the Bandits with the complete game there. But you look at it as far as the Penguins side, really not a bad job. They had the first inning and then the home run there late in the eighth. But other than that, very solid. No runs in those other innings, and just got to get those bats going. So hopefully next week's game we can see some runs from the Penguins.
Yeah, absolutely. So next week we'll have the Penguins playing the Stealth. So that'll be a big one for you, Jake.
Yeah.
Obviously. Big game for the Penguins. The Stealth are typically a top of the table type of team. Very well, very good pitching, very good hitters. We'll see that game next week. That'll be game 3 of the season out of 15. But that will be at 1 o'clock next week. Before that, next Friday, obviously, catch Instigate Success, Building an ABA Franchise, hosted by Jake and guest starring myself. But that'll be it for us today. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Let us know how you feel about amateur night, how you feel about baseball. Happy to continue the conversation. But until next time, be great, instigate. We'll see you soon.